Today on Homeworthy, we're taking you to the wild west of the Hamptons with animal advocate, author, and former Today Show correspondent Jill Rappaport. Fondly named the Last Buck Ranch, the home is a dream come true for Jill, who always hoped to have her own country log cabin. Inside, you'll find one-of-a-kind custom wood details, beautiful fabrics, even a western town, and a movie theater. Along the way, she introduces us to her beloved rescue animals and takes us down to her barn. Enjoy! You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story. By clicking the join button below, you not only support the production of these videos, you also gain access to exclusive content just for members. And today you'll see an extended interview with Jill about her incredible career journey. So join today to see more of the homes you love.
Hey Homeworthy, I'm Jill Rappaport and welcome to the Last Buck Ranch. Come on in. One of my beautiful rescue dogs is waiting to greet you. Hi, I'm Jill Rappaport and welcome inside the Last Buck Ranch, and this is part of my fur family. This is one of my many rescues, Super Stanley. The others are a little camera shy today and two are having kind of a bad hair day. But Stanley's going to help and assist in this tour. Come on, Stanley. This is the entryway, and I have a really funny story about what happened with my home. When it was built, believe it or not, in Montana, I designed it on a piece of paper. I wanted a country log home. I didn't want it to look like a ski lodge. Drew the home after months and months of back and forth notes. The house was designed. They build the house literally log by log in Montana. They assemble it. They see how it looks, no windows, all one shell. Then they take it apart log by log. And truck by truck, it comes from Montana to the Hamptons. So it's really quite an unbelievable undertaking. And to make matters a little crazy, why not? Once the home arrived and it was being assembled, I walk in to the entryway and I see right here, the staircase is supposed to go right here downstairs. And I said, oh, no. I don't want to look at stairs. So mid-build, follow me around here, I tell them that I want the staircase to be hidden over here. And they said, okay, that's fine, but now you're changing the whole structure of your home. So literally, while these guys from Montana were here, we had to do new support beams, or as we call them, support logs. And I love them so much because look at the difference that this made. Just my little change once it got here. I'm all about everything being natural, utilizing our beautiful environment, bringing the outside in. So all of these logs, all of these branches, they were literally from fallen trees. And instead of just letting them rot into the ground, which is also very good for the earth, by the way, we decided to use all these branches. And they steamed them in unbelievable hot water and steam, and they molded them to create these beautiful, incredible shapes. And isn't this amazing? Because I feel like I'm literally in the forest here. And if you look up, I was always obsessed with the show Bonanza, and I'm dating myself now. Now you know how old I am. Anyway, I loved a stucco ceiling. Something that looked like the Old West, something you'd find in New Mexico. And I had to bring artisans in literally from all over the country because this isn't your typical Hamptons home. But look at the beautiful design with the stucco that is created in the foyer. And all of my lamps, everybody always laughs because they say, oh, it's such a beautiful fixture. And I said, really? eBay, $29. Or I go to yard sales, estate sales. I find just such amazing things from people selling them in their backyard, often throwing them away. And anything that looks vintage, that's Americana, I love. And I try to incorporate everything in my home with very little price tag, which is what I really love. And then again, incorporating the outside in. This was the most beautiful tree that had fallen. And I thought, oh, this is the perfect place for my cowboy hat rack. And literally all we did, we left all the branches, was strip the bark away and hang everything. Is this the best way? I mean, is there a more beautiful closet than this? And obviously, this is truly my dream come true. But for the architects and the contractors involved, it was a little overwhelming because, as I mentioned, while they were literally assembling things, I'm changing them mid-beam. And that is exactly what happened with this door. If you can see the outline, right? It was designed to be a big rectangle square entry door, right? I was looking through a magazine one day and I read about this amazing company in California that makes beautiful Spanish doors. And I found this oval shaped door. Look at this. Look how beautiful this is, which looks out onto my incredible waterfall, which, by the way, I leave that waterfall running 24/7 all year long so that the animals have a place to drink, especially the deer. But this door was so beautiful, I thought, I have to have this. But wait a minute, it's a different shape than what was designed. So mid-build, my wonderful carpenters and designers, I got this beautiful Talavera tile from New Mexico. We did an incredible design and they restructured and put in a support beam above so that I could have my dream Spanish door. Isn't it great? Now, because this is a log cabin, you don't have the normal walls and insulation and the way the sheetrock is put in. These are logs with chinking. And so literally it's just log into the wall with the chinking, and there's nothing inside to put all your wires, your electricity, your utilities, your fans, whatever. So we created areas where we lowered the ceiling in certain parts where we could put in all the mechanicals. And this is one spare closet where I needed to hide. This is the air conditioning units. But do you see what I'm saying? Because there's no way to build them into the walls, I made a closet for them so they feel very warm and welcomed. There you go. So I had been coming to the Hamptons for many years, often renting. And it was always my dream to have enough property to have my beloved horses, all of my rescue dogs, to be able to run free and have a lot of land to roam and enjoy the environment. But where do you find that and how can you afford that in the Hamptons? And literally, one day I got a call from a realtor and there were all of these lots that were available at prices that you would never see now, for sure. And I said, how can that be? How can it be so cheap? And I ran out to see the house. It was in the middle of a snowstorm, and that's my little cabin that I have on another property. And I couldn't believe this existed in the middle of all of these acres of open private land that was available. And so literally, I was so excited. I have my little log cabin, and I was able to purchase the land around it for a price that would be actually less than renting a house for a summer out here. So those were the days, and it was my dream when I was a little girl. I grew up in Michigan, a suburb of Detroit, and I used to walk down the street where they had a split rail fence. And I was so excited because it reminded me of a horse farm. And so I would sit on the split rail fence and I would pet an imaginary horse, literally hoping one day that it would be my backyard and I could be petting a real horse. And people would drive by and they would go, what is wrong with that little girl? There's definitely something not right there. But it was in my mind, my dream, that one day I would have what I have now in my backyard. And so to have all of my rescue animals just enjoying this beautiful sanctuary is truly a dream come true. Now we go from the entryway right into the living room. And as you can see, it's so bright and wonderful, and it's two-story. I'm all about big open spaces. And it was such a labor of love. If you look at that fireplace, I found this incredible man who literally built that fireplace rock by rock, stone by stone. Look at this, it's massive. And of course, being that it's called the Last Buck Ranch, literally every buck of mine went into this ranch. It was a labor of love, and he did this with one assistant. Can you imagine? And it's so incredible. And what I really love about this house is that every season is so special here. Now we're into the summer. It's just the best entertainment house. We have these huge wraparound porches, which are so great for entertaining and inviting people over and having barbecues, vegan for me. But it's just the best home to bring your family and friends and look out onto the horses. And then you go into the fall with the autumnal colors and the holidays coming. And Thanksgiving is literally a postcard here. And Christmas, it's right out of a movie. Can you imagine? You know, a big beautiful tree in the corner and the snow and falling with the waterfall and the holidays here. And then spring, everything turns green and the horses are feeling great and they're grazing on the grass. What I truly love about log cabins, they're cool in the summer, they're warm in the winter, but they make every season so special. And the holidays, they make so memorable. Log cabins are just the best. I've collected furniture and found artifacts and blankets. These are vintage blankets. And I love Ralph Lauren. Those were my very exceptional purchases right here, my cowboy boot chairs. I had artists, literally this wonderful man from Up Island, who's an incredible artisan with his hands and woodworking, and he made me this wonderful table, and it has just beautiful designs in it, and everything was made literally from hand. I mean, he took everything and molded it, cut it, and shaped it to fit the style of the home. And what's so great about the furniture, everything is pretty unusual and hand-picked. This I found at an estate sale. This was $20. And I just love it. It fit my house. I thought it was so great. And this I found out west online. It was in an auction, and I think I ended up paying $300 for this wagon wheel chair. It cost me a lot more than that to get it here, but oh, is this the best? I just thought it was so incredible and fit the house so beautiful. And if you look in the corner, that big, tall, hand-carved wooden chair, I utilized everything from this house because when it was brought here from Montana, it didn't have windows. So when they were here cutting out every single window that you see in this house, we made all the extra wood into furniture. So I have these massive log chairs all over the property and on the porches. All my picnic tables, I say picnic in a funny way because they're massive log slabs. So we made sure to utilize every beautiful piece of wood. Nothing went to waste. Everything was incorporated right into my home. Well, as a child growing up in a suburb of Detroit, Michigan, we spent all of our holidays out west. My mother went to school in Tucson, Arizona, and so did my grandparents, and so did my sister. And we would spend every Christmas going out to Tucson. And I literally became obsessed with the West from the time I could walk and talk. Horses were my whole life. I used to dream about having my own horse. And so to be out west in Arizona where people were riding to the post office, riding their horses to just go get lunch, I said, this is the life I want to have. Well, Michigan is a very horse-friendly state, but it's not the West. And I thought one day I'm going to create that Western wonderland for myself. I ended up, my career brought me first to San Francisco and then back to New York. Doing various wonderful television shows, and I was based in Manhattan for the last few decades. And I thought, how am I going to have my Western wonderland in Manhattan or in the Hamptons even? Nobody has this. I can't imagine ever living anywhere else in the world. This is everything I ever wanted and dreamed of. And you know, if you think about it and you envision it and you want it so badly, and it happens, there's nothing better than that. And I created it here. You know, my whole life has been about rescue and adoption. I always say it's my oxygen. And ever since I could walk and talk, I was always saving and rescuing animals, long before people understood the need and importance to do that. And when I was very, very young, I would bring home all sorts of critters and dogs and cats, and my parents were so welcoming to everything, which back then, and we're talking many, many decades ago, was not the norm. I just love animals so much. And so for me, this property is not only my dream come true, but it's truly a sanctuary for all my rescue animals. Rescue and adoption are in a dire state right now. It's probably the worst it's been since I've ever been doing this, probably in 20 years. Whether it be all the COVID returns or our lack of vets that we have right now and the high cost to take your animal to a vet, it's dire. And you can find labradoodles and show dogs, literally beautiful purebreds sitting in shelters waiting for a home, languishing, because nobody's adopting. It's really very frightening and upsetting to me. So I make it my mission to try to educate people, to tell them about the joys of taking in a rescue pet. And when you adopt, they not only get the best home in the world, but they'll change your life. They'll make your life so much better when you give them a second chance for a new life. And please go to your local shelter. There's foster-based groups. Just see what's out there that you can possibly open up your heart and home to, because they need it now more than ever, and your life will be changed. And if you can't adopt, and listen, a lot of people can't, I understand that. There's so many other things you can do. You can foster. I fostered 3 dogs. One ended up with a celebrity flying on a private plane. Talk about the life of Riley. And if you can't adopt, you can't foster, you can always donate your time. Go to your local shelter. Ask to walk a dog. Go on holidays when they're short-staffed. Offer to help. Clean cages. Pet the animals. Just be therapy for them. And last but not least, and certainly the most important, donate. If everybody in this country would just give $1, just think how much better off we would be. So I really want to tell people from my experience that my life, I don't have human children. I have my pet parent is what I call myself, but my fur children are my life, and they have made it so wonderful. And if you feel anything close to the way I feel about animals, you understand. And try to do what I've been doing, because boy, it's just the best gift in the world. And it wasn't until much later, after being on the Today Show for 16 years, in 2005, I believe, where my beautiful dog Jack, and I wrote a book about him, Jack and Jill, he was one of my rescue dogs, a German Shepherd. He started limping and he developed osteosarcoma, which is bone cancer. And needless to say, I was so devastated. They give them months to live and you have to amputate the leg. And it was just horrific. And I had decided that what was best for him to ensure a longer life was to amputate his leg. We chronicled Jack's story on the Today Show. And people were so moved by Jack's recovery. The anchors were crying. Meredith Vieira had tears in her eyes. And everybody was so moved by the story. And I got responses from all over the country. How's Jack? What's going on with him? And he ended up living 2.5 years. And he was 11 at the time, so he was 13.5. And for a German Shepherd, you hope to get that life anyway. And because of him, I wrote this book, Jack and Jill, which is in schools all over the country. He's just the miracle dog with a happy tail, T-A-I-L, to tell. He changed my life forever. And it was because of Jack, this beautiful dog, that I went to my boss, head of the Today Show at the time, and I said, you know what? Stars don't need my help. Animals do. And I've covered every event for you, every award show, I've sat down with every wonderful celebrity, but this is where my heart lies. I'd like to focus on animal welfare. And my boss at the time said, great, be our pet reporter. And I said, pet reporter, no, how about animal advocate? And from that day on, I like to say I went from the red carpet to the wee-wee pad. And I became the animal advocate to save so many animals' lives. Jack was also the ambassador dog of hope for animal cancer. He became his own viral sensation because so many people knew about him, and he survived this dreaded disease for so long that he was really a symbol for animal cancer, and still is to this day. This is my kitchen. And again, the use of everything outside brought in. I love this seating area where it's 2 areas where you can actually eat. the colors. This bar was bought out west at El Paso Imports, and I love the colors, you know, the Southwest look again. And over here, if you want to sit down and look out onto the waterfall, there's another lovely seating area. And what's really special about this kitchen, because I was so hands-on and everything I wanted to be involved in, from the floor to the ceiling. When I first walked into the kitchen, since I don't cook, I always say that all of these wonderful appliances would be great to store my sweaters. I thought, okay, I have to get help with the kitchen because this is not my forte. So I went to a place, and I'm going to show you these plans. I don't want to show the name, but I said, draw me or sketch for me what you think this kitchen should look like. And so I had this paper, this is from almost 20 years ago, and just normal, you know, cabinets, and I thought, boring. Nothing against them. I mean, serves a great purpose for many people, but this is not my vision. So I got this, and I thought, forget that. And I found this incredible artist up island again. And I said, I want all of these cabinets to be reflective of the West. You know, arrows, Americana symbols. If you turn around here, look at this. All of these handles, these are branches from outside. Look at the symbol work he did here from sticks of wood. Everything was done by hand, arrows, to exemplify the Wild West and my love of Navajo art and the history of the West. And this is what he created for me, as opposed to just your standard kitchen. And I always say, for me, I don't understand, and I could never hire somebody to tell me what my taste is. You know, and I appreciate that people do that all the time, but you know, when you have a home, it's such a personal thing, and everywhere you look, I know that I had a part in creating it. I didn't physically build it. Believe me, if I could, I would have. But I know that I picked out the latches outside. I saw 2 twigs, and I said, oh, this will be great. You know, if we want to close the door with that twig, you know, and this handle. And the floors were from upstate, from a 100-year-old barn. Everything was done as a labor of love, and everything I gathered from all my yard sales and all my estate sales, all my favorite little baskets and things are on top. And I'm really excited about my fireplaces. You saw the one in the living room. This one, I wanted it to look like a headdress, like a feather headdress. Do you see how the top is? So again, that incredible mason named Wayne, I said, do the stones, stack them up like a beautiful headdress. And look at it even here. See how this is? And everything was done one rock, one stone at a time. And it was so difficult because not only was he building structurally a safe and beautiful fireplace, he had to listen to what I wanted and try to create pictures of headdresses and dogs' faces. My fireplace outside looked like my yellow lab. So I'm very proud of how this turned out. I really think it's a work of art, like everything in this house is. I mean, you can't find it, you can't buy it anywhere. It was handmade, and it was truly a labor of love. Actually, I should let it be known I'm a bit of a homebody, and my favorite guest list would be all of my dogs and horses, if I could have them in at the table. And literally, I kind of like to hang out and be by myself. But when I do have people over, you know, I have a lot of wonderful close friends. I'm not into parties. We've had a few events here that have been very special, I have to say. I hosted a wonderful event for Aretha Franklin here many years ago. She was a very dear friend of my sister's, Linda Solomon. And Aretha came here, and we had just an incredible barbecue party outside, and she just got such a kick out of this house, you know, to have the Queen of Soul at the Last Buck Ranch. It was really a fun party. But I have to be honest, my favorite times are just hanging with the dogs, riding my horses, looking out the window, looking at the deer. I have wild turkeys. It's truly a wildlife sanctuary, and that's when I'm the happiest, surrounded by 4-legged friends. And this is the little den here. It actually was first designed to be the laundry room, but I said, no, I don't want to look at washers and dryers off my beautiful kitchen. I said, this is a great cozy room just to hang out and watch TV. And I have to tell you, with this log home, this was an additional room added on. And so we were going to originally, they wanted to just put sheetrock in here. They didn't bring the hand-hewn logs for this particular room. So I said, no, with every extra log, let's split them at half, and we covered the walls. See this? These are half logs that if you look at this, they were literally put on the walls so that it all stayed uniform with the rest of the house instead of just all of a sudden putting in a stucco wall. I didn't want that. And these doors, when they were cutting out the windows, they cut out all the logs, and then the slabs in between the logs, the leftover wood. This is from in between the logs. We turned into all of our doors. See, we used every piece of material. All the earth was put in the house. Nothing went to waste. And also all of the tile work, these beautiful Mexican tiles. And look at the Talavera tiles that are throughout the house. There's designs. I literally got on my hands and knees and I would say, I want an Aztec design, or I want a triangle, and use these tiles here to create this effect. So everything was hand done. I was on my hands and knees. And like I said, the people that came here to put the house together with me, in between taking Excedrin, because I was driving them a little crazy, they ended up really saying it was one of the most unique experiences because they felt like they were creating a Western museum, and that's what it turned out to be. I mean, it's really quite unusual, and what I love is you're never going to see this in anyone else's home. Okay, so now we're going to go into the master suite, and again, what I love, the 2-story. It's actually 2.5 stories if you look up the massive feeling of this, and I just knew when I designed this home that I wanted this huge, massive ceiling. And then when I decided, when they were building, that this was all going to be one room and that the closets and the bathroom were back here, I said, wait a second, this is what I want to do. And this is what I drew on a piece of paper. If you turn around and look right here, I have the staircase that goes up to a separate loft area here. You can go up both ways. And all of those railings and twigs were made from trees that were on the property and a friend's property. She was actually building a little guest house. And I said, don't do anything with your trees. And we went running over there and got all her beautiful redwoods that were just going to be left there, you know, to perish. And I took them all and turned them into my the banisters and the railings. And so that's a separate loft area upstairs. That's an office space. And there's sleeping space up there. And over here, I said, we're not going to let this area go to waste because if I'm in this room, so are my doggies, right, Stanley? And here are my log dog beds. And these are for my big super seniors. You can see they were made. There's 2 here. And when they're not in the bed with me, they can go chill out. Do you want to go into your dog log bed, huh, sweetheart? But everything is just for the animals, and even they have their own little log cabin. Over in the corner is another massive tree that was left laying on the ground. Look at this, how it just added so much to the room. And again, I can come home and I can hang my hat here, or I can hang a coat. I always make it useful, you know, as a wonderful coat rack. It's the natural environment inside. These are all antique chests. I love Pendleton, as you can see from the blankets. I designed a line of clothes and dog beds for Pendleton. I think they're the most incredible company. And being obsessed with the West, my Navajo jewelry collection, I'm either always wearing it or displaying it. And I'm so proud of it. I feel so happy when I'm wearing turquoise. I feel it's a healing stone. And I've been collecting it since I was a child. My parents would come back from trips, or we would be in Arizona. I would pick up anything turquoise or silver. And I've just always appreciated the beauty of the Southwest and the Navajo culture and what this jewelry means and what it is. And at the time when I was buying it, I just would look at the colors, not realizing what I was buying. And it just makes me happy. So I try to have it wherever I live, either on the walls as art or as jewelry. I try to find really unusual paintings. Look at this. Those are like it's supposed to be a wall, okay, in someone's home, and that's an actual painting. Look at those photographs with the masking tape. That's a painting. And all their knickknacks that you would see in anybody's home, but yet this incredible artist painted it. And all throughout the home, you know, adobe homes, horses, of course, cowboys on the wall. You know, I love my wonderful rugs, just beautiful artifacts to show and highlight the Southwest. And Navajo symbols, and also look, this beautiful eagle. Look at this. This is the same artist that did the kitchen. He said, I'm going to, with wood, construct a gorgeous eagle for your room. Isn't that incredible? All right, now let's go check out the loft. I just absolutely adore this loft. And it's so cozy and wonderful. And what a great workspace. Check this out. You come up these stairs here, made from the logs, from the windows, and you come up here and you can look out onto the waterfall and look at this view of the room. You have the whole room here to look at. It's so unbelievable because you really get the feel of the architecture. Look at the beams, look at the trusses. This is incredible, and you can look down onto the master suite. You see another master fireplace. Again, the same mason did this fireplace for the master bedroom. And the beautiful railings with the twigs, and look at all of this. One man took all of these branches and under extreme heat and water would bend and made them all work so he could build railings. I mean, it's truly a labor of love and a work of art. And this is my cozy little sitting area, which actually can also be a sleeping area. This furniture is very, very special. First of all, it's made from naugahyde, and it was back from the 70s. And it's very collectible right now. And all of these pieces, and I have them throughout the house, which you'll see, came from every state all over the country. And I love this one with the horse, and over there is embroidered into that chair as a saddle. This pulls out, and it's actually like a twin bed. But look at this, it's not leather. They were using pleather back then. I was very ahead of my time, being a vegan. And it's so great because it pulls out, it's got the feel of the West, and the sides are wagon wheels, and this is all vintage, and no one piece is alike. It was not manufactured like that. It's all hand sewn, hand done, and I just think it's fabulous. And again, all of the doors, this wood was taken from the inside of the logs. We utilized everything. All the handles are twigs. Come on, Stanley, and look at this bathroom. This is Mexican Talavera, beautiful tile from the Southwest that was brought here. And I wanted an old-fashioned tub, and I really got my dream with this. It's really fun, isn't it? And one of my favorite features in this bathroom, if you come over here, all of the sinks are hand-painted, and they had horses and dogs, and I found all of these sinks out west that actually look just like my horses. So look at this one. In my pastures, I have Bella and Ranger's a paint and Bella's a black horse, and here they are in the sink. Every sink is a beautiful horse that I either have now or is in heaven. So when I look and I wash my hands and I wash my face, I'm reminded of all my beautiful animals. And then if you look into the shower, this tile work is truly masterful. Look at this. This is also all Talavera, and it was brought out from the Southwest. And then I have my saloon doors to go into the other part of the bathroom. Come on in. And a self-portrait of me, just kidding. But don't you notice that the horse is smiling? And then if you look over here, I just really am so excited that I was able to, again, incorporate nature, even to hold my toilet paper. It's a twig from outside. And of course, what's a John without a John, right? There's John Wayne to say hello. And again, all of my horses, they're beautiful, beautiful etchings and paintings right into the sink. Bling, who's now turned white, she's right outside in the pasture. This looked like her when she was young. So it's just a work of art. All of the mirrors came from the Southwest. They're all the beautiful Talavera tile. And the floors, terracotta Mexican tiles. And it's called Saltillo with the Talavera. And just beautiful designs and colors. And you don't see them anywhere. That's what I love so much about the house. It's one of a kind. It's not like you go to a store and you go, oh yeah, I saw that sofa, or I saw, that mirror. Nobody can say that about this house. They'd have to do like a whole scavenger hunt all over the country to try to find any one of these items. Now we're going to head upstairs where I built a cabin within a cabin, a little Western town. It's really cute. Now here's another room where I actually drove the contractor and architect bonkers. This was supposed to be a closed bedroom. This was a full wall. I got up here and I said, no, this is the best view in the world. We have to have this open. We've got my pastures on one side. I have the waterfall on the other side. Again, I opened up the whole room. And the wonderful carpenters and contractors, we found all of these trees. They built all of this incredible railing, and every twig had to be bent and made for security and stability, but also beauty. So I opened this all up. I lost a bedroom, even though you can sleep here and there's a full bathroom and a walk-in closet. But look what I gained in view and beauty. And again, my obsession with the West and growing up going to Tucson, especially old Tucson, I created a little Western museum, or I like to say a cabin within a cabin. So you go under this archway, and here is my little cabin within. It's a little seating area. I literally spray painted myself. I took gray spray paint and did all the windows to look old, like an old Western town. I wanted it to look very, very vintage and antique-y. And then you come in here, and I call this now the Last Buck Hotel. And this is my favorite bedroom. Isn't this special? You walk in, and it's like a cabin within a cabin. Now, this is one of Stanley's favorite places. It was an empty space in between one bedroom and another, and I thought, I want to create a Western town in this little space. So this closet, I said, I'm going to make it look like a saloon. And then over against this wall, which is nothing behind it, I wanted to create my blacksmith shop. So I have my old horseshoes hanging. I put up a fictitious door with the rope and all the horseshoes. So in my dream mind, you open the door and the blacksmith is inside shoeing my horses. And then over here is my little trading post area. You can hang out here and sit and just enjoy the view of the little museum. And then it goes into another bedroom. And with all of the log work going on and all of the people that had to travel from all over the country, and things were kind of chaotic, when they put the archways and the logs together for this room, if you notice, they don't meet up. The logs are supposed to be right next to each other, faceted tightly. Well, I thought, no problem. I'll make it a little bird's nest, and that's what I did. A little wood bird. Welcome to my movie theater. This is really a unique room. Again, these vinyl chairs, I showed you the little sleeping area upstairs where there's incredible Western pictures of horses. There's a cow, there's saddles, they're all sewn in. Each one of these chairs, I was on the hunt for them because I'm obsessed with this Naugahyde vintage furniture from the 70s. And I would find them in Arkansas, in Ohio. I even went as far as Maine. I found one of the chairs, and they're so much fun because each one is different. No one chair is alike, even though they may look like similar pictures. They're different shades, different stitching, and look, they rock. These are such great chairs to watch a movie in. And I've got my popcorn maker and, of course, the bar with the saddle stools here. And these lights above, which I have featured all throughout this room, they are all vintage cowboy lantern lights. Can you see? And each one has a picture a beautiful Western scene. And they're all natural wood, and they light up, and they're in the shape of wagons, like from the Old West. And so they're all along this room, and just the best place to watch a movie, preferably a Western. Again, I want to stress, these are faux leather. They're so cool. And we're talking from, you know, almost 50 years ago this stuff was created. So I was on the hunt all over the country to find every chair, every sofa, even the bar is from that same line with the horse's head sewn in. And I thought, these are so great. And you're not going to find this anywhere. I mean, unless you go online. Please don't, because I'm still looking to buy up everyone I can find. Okay, now we're going to head outdoors. What's so special about this house also, it looks massive, but it's really not that big. What makes it look so big are these incredible porches. When I was sketching it on a napkin, sending these little drawings to Montana, I said, I don't want the ski lodge, I want a country farmhouse, but I want the porches to be just as part of the house as the indoors. And I want it feeling like you could live out here just as well as you can live indoors. So look at the space here. There's all of these fabulous seating areas here, and my outdoor fireplace, and this is very special. Again, that same mason who did those amazing fireplaces indoors, look at what he created outdoors. And this little design, I don't know if you can see, it's a little head, the two ears, the two eyes, and the nose. He did this in honor of my beautiful Buck, my yellow lab who I lost. So there's memories of him here, and always with the incredible views out to the pastures. And if you walk down here, we can sit in this beautiful chair and look out onto the incredible views. Isn't this great? I just love it. Stanley, want to sit in the chair with me? Come on, want to swing? Come here, bud. Hi. There's so much space out here. This is what I was saying. When we had the party here for Aretha Franklin or entertaining, this to me is the best part of the house, because all of this open space to entertain and hang out with your friends. And I talked about the chairs in the living room, these chairs and all of the furniture here. This was all made from leftover wood from the windows that I told you about. When they cut out all the windows after bringing the house here from Montana, this was the wood that was left over, so we turned it into our furniture. And welcome to the Last Buck Ranch watering hole. Great place to sit down. You can have a cold drink. You love my saddle stools? These are so cool. And you just sit here and hang out, and you hear the waterfall, see the horses. Again, it's the outdoors in. I feel like this is just the same type of wonderful living space, and so cozy and wonderful, but it's outside. Now from the watering hole, we're wrapping around to the front of the house under the porte cochere. And this was created as your indoor garage, so to speak, because you can park under here and your car will be protected from all of the elements. But look at what we have right next to it. One of the most incredible features, this man-made waterfall. We used our natural hill, and it's recycled water that goes around and around. The dogs love it, the deer love it. I leave this on 24/7 all year long so that my wildlife has something to drink all year long. Now we're in the Last Buck Ranch barn, and this is truly my happy place. This is another one of my beautiful horses. This is Madison. Check her out. She's a paint. Yeah, you're pawing for attention, aren't you? You know you're a beauty. And this really, truly is Yellowstone in the Hamptons. The only thing missing is Kevin Costner. Huh? Yes, I love the kisses. I love the kisses. Come here, sweetheart. Hi. Hello, Mama. Hello, beautiful girl. My beautiful angel. Yeah. This is beautiful bling. And I just remember looking back decades ago when I was that little girl sitting on a fence in Michigan, petting an imaginary horse. And here I am today with all of my beautiful horses. I really have my dream. And this is what home means to me.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content, shopping guides, and so much more.